Good evening and welcome to News Desk for the 5 minutes of news from the news department here at the Renaissance Communications Incorporated. Today is Wednesday, the 13th day of December 2023, and I'm Josie Bartolman presenting first the headlines. Government of Liberia repatriates first batch of armed forces of Liberia soldiers who have been deployed as peacekeepers in Mali. The Liberia Council of Churches reacts to a disturbing video circulating on social media depicting a woman being ruthlessly mobbed in Raleigh, Painesville. Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia with support for the Sweden government through the Swedish International Development Cooperation Agency unveiled its third state of collection report in Liberia. And away from Liberia, High Court in Uganda's capital Kampala sentences 25-year-old killer to 105 years in prison. These plus many more, the news bulletin, the actual voices behind the news are all packaged here on today's edition of the program News that will take a short break to be right back. Thanks for rejoining us. We will also be anticipating sports here on today's edition of the program News Desk. But at this juncture, we join Olivia Bowen with the news bulletin. Good evening, Olivia.
Good evening, Johnson, and good evening to all. The government of Liberia has successfully repatriated the first batch of armed forces of Liberia soldiers who had been deployed as peacekeepers in Mali. The first group of over 67 arrived at the Rabat International Airport aboard Ethiopian Airlines, with an additional 67 soldiers anticipated to return on Thursday. Major Zacchaeus Musgrove, the Deputy Chief of Staff for Operations and Director of Peacekeeping for the AFL, shared in an interview with 15 AFL soldiers would remain in Mali until later this year to safeguard logistical operations. He further revealed plans for a formal reception later this month to honor the returning soldiers for their valor in serving as peacekeepers under the multi-dimensional mission in the Republic of Mali. The Liberia Council of Churches has strongly reacted to a disturbing video circulating on social media depicting a woman being ruthlessly mobbed and addressed by a group of men in the Red Light Market in Painesville. Reverend Christopher Toole, the Secretary General of the Council, strongly condemned the incident, deeming it a disgrace to Liberian womanhood. In an interview with our station, Reverend Toole urged the Ministry of Justice to leave no stone unturned in investigating the matter. He called upon the Liberian National Police to bear full responsibility for the reprehensible actions and ensure that those involved are exposed. Reverend Toole emphasized the importance of preventing any recurrence of such attacks in the country, urging a thorough investigation to safeguard against the replication of such acts on anybody in Liberia. The Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia, supported by funding from the Swedish government through the Swedish International Development Cooperation Agency, has unveiled its third State of Corruption report in the country. The report highlights the lack of prosecution and a commitment to a culture of transparency and accountability as significant contributors to the prevailing level of corruption in Liberia. According to the report, 90% of respondents interviewed for this edition of the State of Corruption report believe that corruption in the country is at a high level, marking a consistent trend over the past 3 years. Over the 3 year period, the school, an initiative under the National Integrity Building and Anti-Corruption Program, supported by the Swedish government, has captured public sentiment and experiences regarding corruption in Liberia. School is a product of mixed methods, including desk reviews, surveys, key informant interviews, and media monitoring. Fieldwork was conducted from May to August, involving 728 participants across 9 counties: Grand Cape Mount, Magibid, Montserrado, Nimba, Bong, Grand Bassel, Rivers, Wapolud, and Bombing. The report is explosive that 67% of those surveyed believe that the government's commitment to combating corruption is low, marking a 5% increase from the previous report. Additionally, it notes that public resources are directed through questionable budgetary allocations that benefit public officials, the executive, legislature, and traditional societies. The report underscores concerns about the manipulation of the justice system. Despite intensified efforts by local and international actors against corruption, the report emphasizes that a lack of prosecution for individuals accused of corruption and other crimes remains a significant factor contributing to a high level of corruption in Liberia. Meanwhile, the program officer for democracy and human rights at the Swedish embassy near Monrovia, Nicolina Storhand, has emphasized the significance of transparency and accountability in nation building. Madam Storhand commended the incoming government for prioritizing the fight against corruption in Liberia, considering it a step in the right direction. Speaking at the launch of the third edition of the State of Corruption report in Liberia on Wednesday, Madam Stothand reiterated the commitment of the Sweden government to support the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia and other stakeholders in the anti-corruption efforts. She expressed the hope of the government and people of Sweden to witness a Liberia with reduced corruption levels. Providing an overview of the program, Akia Gle, the Gender and Inclusion Officer at Cental, highlighted that the report independently outlined key corruption trends based on citizens' perceptions in Liberia. During the formal launch of the report, Jeffrey Yates, the chairperson of the Steering Committee National Integrity Forum, stated that improved coordination within the National Integrity Forum partners could be expected to yield better results in the upcoming fourth edition of the report. Yates took the opportunity to commend Centau for implementing projects aimed at raising awareness among the Liberian population. The program was graced by representatives from institutions including PPCC, IAA, GSC, and LSCC, along with government officials, civil society members, and youths. The Liberia National Police has handed over various equipment and cell phones that belong to Ghanaian IT expert Samson Isen. The handover took place at LMP headquarters on the Capitol bypass where Isen's lawyer, Councillor Edwin Martin, received the items on Tuesday. This action by the police comes shortly after Councillor Martin submitted a petition to the Fourth Judicial Circuit Court in Maryland County, seeking the suppression and return of Isen's confiscated properties. According to RCA judicial correspondent, the decision to return the items was made by the police just a day after the petition was filed. It can be recalled that Samson Isen, the Ghanaian IT expert, had been engaged by the opposition Unity Party to provide training for their poor watchers during the recently concluded election. However, in October of this year, Easton was apprehended by the police in Maryland County on allegations of interfering in the Liberian elections process. The campaign chairperson of the Grand Bassa County District Number 2 Representative-elect Clarence Banks has criticized the use of a traditional cow by Zansan Kawa, the chairman of the Chiefs and Elders Council of Liberia, terming it as a means to intimidate citizens. Appearing on State of the Nation on Wednesday, Amos Johnson expressed concern about the contradictory actions of someone claiming to be the father figure for the nation while spreading what he described as reckless statements. Johnson highlighted an incident during the campaign when Chief Izan Sankawa, via a local radio station, made derogatory remarks about Representative-elect Clarence Banks, questioning his citizenship and making false death pronouncements. Johnson condemned these statements as undemocratic and reckless, urging Chief Kawa to apologize to the district and to newly elected representative. He also warned Chief Izansan Kawa to refrain from making threatening statements, indicating potential legal action if any harm befell their leader. A pro-democracy organization, Citizens United for Good Governance, Development and Peace Building, has expressed approval of Monsola County District Number 2 representative candidate, Bishop Nimlan Doyen, accusing him of holding the district hostage. Following the National Elections Commission's declaration of Unity Party's candidate, Sekou Konen, as the winner of the October 10 poll, Representative-elect Father Nimlan Doyen contested the decision through legal means, which has led to an underrepresentation of the district in political matters. The chairman of the group, Reginald Tinkwan, criticized Bishop Doyen's actions, alleging that they are undermining the developmental plans for District Number 2. He highlighted the negative impact on political representation and decision-making processes, leaving the district neglected compared to others in the country. Tinkban urged Bishop Doyen to accept the will of the people, emphasizing that doing so would facilitate future elections and decisions. The group expressed their commitment to supporting the Catholic bishop in future political endeavors if he were to heed the concerns of the district's residents. Away from Liberia, the High Court in Uganda's capital, Kampala, has sentenced a 25-year-old serial killer to 105 years in prison. Musa Sisi was sentenced on Wednesday after pleading guilty to the murder of 3 women, said to be his girlfriends and a 3-month-old girl who was the child of one of his victims. He reportedly pursued romantic relationships with the women before sexually assaulting and killing them, then burning and disposing of their bodies, the court heard. Justice Margaret Mutoyi said the long sentence was necessary to protect young women, including Musa Sisi's 6-year-old daughter, the privately owned NTV channel reported. Musa Sisi had been arrested in March 2021 on suspicion of killing 5 women and an infant. He was convicted for the murder of one of the women in July. At that time, his lawyer asked the judge for mercy, saying that Musa Sisi, the former street child, has survived a difficult upbringing. Well, Johnson, that's the news connecting.
Bawa and the news bulletin, a regular feature here on the News Desk program. One of our top developments here on News Desk, the liberal council of churches reacts to a disturbing video circulating on social media, depicting the woman being ruthlessly mocked in Raleigh, Pencil. Let's bring our first development here on the program. The government of Liberia has successfully repatriated the first batch of armed forces of Liberia soldiers who had been deployed as peacekeepers in Mali. The first group of over 67 arrived at the Rabat International Airport aboard Ethiopia Airlines with additional 67 soldiers anticipated to return to this Thursday. Major Marcos Mugut, the Deputy Chief of Staff for Operations and Director for Peacekeeping for the AFL, shared in an interview that 15 AFL soldiers could return in Mali until later this year to safeguard logistical operations. Marcus Musgrove is the Deputy Chief of Staff for Operations and Director of Peacekeeping for the EFL. The speaking after over 67 Army personnel arrived at the Rabat International Airport from Mali. The Liberia Council of Churches has strongly reacted to a disturbing video circulating on social media, depicting the woman being ruthlessly mocked and undressed by a group of men in the Raleigh in Painesville. Reverend Christopher Toole, the Secretary General of the Council, strongly condemned the incident, deeming it as a disgrace to Liberian women who, in an interview with our station, Reverend Christopher Toole urged the Minister of Justice to leave no stone unturned in investigating the matter. Reverend Christopher Toole is the Secretary General of the Liberal Council of Churches, the speaking. The Program Officer for Democracy and Human Rights at the Swedish Embassy near Monrovia, Nicolina Stehen, has emphasized the importance of transparency and accountability in nation building. Madam Stehen commended the incoming government for prioritizing the fight against corruption in Liberia, considering its steps in the right direction. Speaking at the launch of the third edition of the State of Corruption Report in Liberia on Wednesday, Madam Stehen reiterated the commitment of the Swedish government to support the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia and other stakeholders in the anti-corruption efforts. She expressed the hope of the people, of the government of people of Sweden, through which Liberia will reduce corruption levels.
Just like the other report, we are very much looking forward to dig into the report and to see all the analysis, what you are recommending, what are the lessons learned. So this is a really exciting event today, and we're looking forward to hear more throughout the day. As we all know, transparency and accountability are important building blocks for an inclusive development. And this is something that has been pretty widely discussed during the election period and also now during the transition period, which we are now. We have heard promises from the incoming government to prioritize combating corruption, and through our support to Central and to other stakeholders, Sweden remains a committed partner to continue our support towards these issues, and we are looking forward to see a Liberia with a reduced level of corruption. And for this to happen, we need to do things at all levels, both by raising awareness and empowering citizens to demand for and act against corruption, but also by supporting integrity institutions to fulfilling their mandate and by providing space for dialogue between citizens, officials, and other stakeholders to ensure that the accountability is upheld. And in this process, we see Central as a key partner. And apart from what they're doing here today, launching the annual score report, they're doing a lot of other things as well. Just to mention one thing, you are convening integrity institutions, civil society, and private sector in what is called the National Integrity Forum. Because it's really by working together that we're able to combat corruption and to make civil society playing their role in holding government accountable and institutions playing their role in delivering within its mandates. Then we see that there are a number of challenges which needs to be addressed, and impunity is still a major challenge. And to address this, it's not enough to just establishing integrity institutions and passing bills to increase transparency. This also needs to be implemented, and in order to do so, institutions need to be able to fulfill their mandate. And this does not only need dedicated personnel that lead by example, it also requires financial allocations. But there are, of course, a lot of possibilities to change this if political will to do so exists. And we want to see Liberia in which integrity institutions are fulfilling their role, in which the laws that have been passed are also implemented and followed. And in cases where laws are not followed, there shall be consequences. Impunity needs to be addressed. And on the journey towards improved transparency and accountability, Sweden is a committed partner, and I hope that the launch here today will shed light on some of the ways forward and some recommendations for the future. We are very much looking forward to continuing the dialogue with Central and with other stakeholders to ensuring that the findings and the recommendations that will be presented here today are not just something that laying on the tables or on the shelves, that is actually being implemented, being discussed widely in Liberia.
Nicolina Stehen is the Program Officer for Democracy human rights at the Swedish Embassy near Monrovia. They're speaking at the launch of the third edition of the State of Corruption Report in Liberia, providing an overview of the program. Akia Glenn, the Gender and Inclusion Officer at Center, highlighted that the report independently outlined key corruption trends based on citizens' perceptions in Liberia.
The same time, the implementing of the National Integrity Anti-Corruption Program, this program is sponsored or funded by the Swedish International Development Cooperation Agency. So we have supported this program throughout 2020, and throughout the year we have produced two editions of this report. And this report actually is initiative that independently analyze key trends in corruption in Liberia. It consider citizens' perceptions about corruption in Liberia and key institutions that are prone to corruption in Liberia. It provides recommendations and report. So we would like to say today, after the return edition, we are going to provide information to you about the perception and analysis and trend of corruption in Liberia. It covers a year. This is a year report.
Madam Akia Glenn is the Gender and Inclusion Officer at Center. They're giving the overview of the program. If you are just joining us, please be informed that you are in tune to a 45-minute production from the News and Current Affairs Department here at the Renaissance Communications Incorporated. In our top developments, Government of Liberia repatriates first batch of armed forces of Liberia soldiers who had been deployed as peacekeepers in Mali. The Liberia Council of Churches reacts to a disturbing video circulating on social media debating the woman being ruthlessly mocked in Raleigh, Painesville. Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia will support for the Swedish government through the Swedish International Development Cooperation Agency unveiled its third state of corruption report in the country and away from Liberia. High Court in Uganda's capital Kampala sentences 25 years old serial killer to 105 years in prison. At this juncture, we join Naomi Tapia for the World of Sports. Good evening, Naomi.
Yeah, good evening. Johnson, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Passion of Life. Nimakore FC has officially announced that their players will not be participating in this year's edition of the Continent Meet unless they have proper communication with the management of the club. According to Liberia Sports International, the management said the decision has been made with utmost consideration for the best interest of the football club. Nimakore strongly believes that it is crucial for the effective management and coordination of the team's activities. Laura Jeans is not in a good place after being subject to disgusting and unacceptable online racist abuse, says Chelsea manager Eman Hayes. The 22-year-old was targeted after appearing to stand on Leah Watty's foot during Chelsea's 4-1 Women's Super League defeat by Arsenal on Sunday. Chelsea released a statement strongly condemning the abuse on Tuesday, and on Wednesday, Hayes added that the language used to verify Jeans online was unacceptable. Hayes suggested Jeans could be subject to more abuse than other players because of her race. Jeans was also the target of online abuse in 2021 when playing for Manchester United. England joined Chelsea in condemning the abuse received by Jeans in the aftermath of Saturday's match. Asked how Jeans was, Hayes said she's not in a good place if she's to be honest. Jeans received a red card at a Women's World Cup after stamping on Michelle Aloisi in England's game against Nigeria. A FIFA report said on Monday that 1 in 5 players received online abuse at a World Cup. Under Di Maria's scored directly from a corner as Benfica beat Red Bull Salzburg 3-1 to secure third place in their Champions League group and qualify for Europa League. Di Maria also set up Rafael Silva to give Benfica the two-goal lead they needed to leapfrog Salzburg into third. Luka Sosic pulled a goal back after the break, but Arthur Cabral struck in stoppage time to send Benfica through. Real Sociedad won the group after a goalless draw with Inter Milan at 35 years and 31 days. Former Manchester United winger Di Maria is now the second oldest Argentinian scorer in the Champions League, surpassing Lionel Messi, who was 35 years and 123 days old when he scored for PSG in 2022. Former defender Javier Zanetti was 37 and he scored in Inter Milan's 4-3 win over Tottenham in 2010. Elsewhere, Sevilla are out of Europe completely after they finished bottom of Group B following defeat at Lens, who qualified for Europa League. And finally, Sarina Wigman, Emma Hayes, and Pep Guardiola are among the nominees for the Best FIFA Coach Awards 2023. England manager Wigman claimed the Women's Award last year after the Lionesses won Europe 2022. Chelsea manager Hayes and Barcelona's Jonathan Girardes are also on the women's short list. Guardiola, who led Manchester City to the treble, is alongside Inter Milan's Simone Inzaghi and Napoli's Luciano Spalletti on the men's short list. The winners will be announced on Monday, 15 January, at a ceremony in London. Wigman was also named UEFA Women's Coach of the Year in August. England's Emery Earps has been shortlisted for the best women's goalkeeper, with Manchester City's Ederson up for the men's prize. Players who will leave Chelsea to take over the United States at the end of the season won the Women's Super League, WSL, and Women's FA Cup last season. Guardiola led Manchester City to the Premier League, FA Cup, and their first Champions League title in 2022-3. The Women's Award is for performances from 1 August 2022 to 20 August 2023, while the Men's Award is for between 19 December 2022 to 20 August 2023. That's all from our sports desk.
The passion of last sports is a regular feature here on the program news. That thanks to Naomi Tapia for bringing us sports. In more developments here on the program, the campaign chairperson of the Grand Bassa County Representative-led Clarence Banks has criticized the use of a traditional Kawa tool by Chief Zanson Kawa, the chairman of the Chiefs and Elder Council of Liberia, terming it as a means of intimidating citizens. Appearing on State of the Nation on True FM Wednesday, Amos Johnson expressed concern about the contradictory actions of someone claiming to be a father figure for the nation while sparing what he described as reckless statements. Johnson highlighted an incident during the campaign when Chief Zasakawa via a local radio station made derogatory statements or remarks about Representative-elect Clarence Banks, questioning his citizenship and making false death announcements. Amos Johnson is the campaign chairperson of Grand Bassa County District 2 Representative-elect Clarence Bench. They're speaking. However, the office of Chief Zasakawa is yet to react to his statement. Mount this development, a pro-democracy organization, Citizens United for Good Governance, Development, and Peace Building, has expressed disapproval of Moswara County District 2 Representative candidate Bishop Nima Doyen, accusing him of holding the district hostage following the National Elections Commission declaration of Unity Party candidate Segu Kanin as the winner of the October 10 poll. Representative-elect as representative candidate, Nima Doyen contested the decision through legal means, which has led to an honor representation of the district in political matters. The chairman of the group, Regina Timber, criticized Bishop Nima Doyen's actions, alleging that they undermine the developmental plans of District 2 Moswara County. Regina Timber is the chairman of the group Citizens United for Good Governance, Development and Peace Building. They're speaking, bringing us to the end of today's edition of News Desk. But just before we go, a recap of our major developments. Government of Liberia repatriates first batch of armed forces of Liberia soldiers who have been deployed as peacekeepers in Mali. The Liberia Council of Churches reacts to a disturbing video circulating on social media depicting a woman being ruthlessly mobbed in Raleigh. Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia, with support from the Swedish government through the Swedish International Development Corporation Agency, unveiled its third State of Corruption report in the country and away from Liberia. High Court in Uganda's capital Kampala sentences 25-year-old serial killer to 105 years imprisonment. We'd love to say many thanks to our writers, contributors, correspondents, as well as a video radio station for relaying this broadcast. Kopo Sangasara control and produce the sound. Oliver Bowen brought to you the news bulletin, while Naomi Tapia brought to you the Passion of Last Sports. Maya Tobian control the camera. My name is Johnson Batoma. I presented. Good evening.
Starting today, why not have a little more fun? Why not use money this easily? Why not get even closer to family? Why not work how you've always wanted? Fun, money, family, work. No network keeps you connected to it all, quite like Orange. It's all about what matters to you.
When it comes to communication in Liberia, Orange is number one.
Orange is the best! Orange is the best! Oh, Orange is the best! Orange is the best!
Strongest network, widest coverage.
Orange is the best!
Fastest internet speed.
Orange is the best! People, Orange is the best! Yes! Orange is the best!
Nagatama, please woo. Copenhagen, that's the Orange. Top number one. Swing
Company is Orange, I don't got it best.
Orange will put you the telephone on top.
Reliable, trusted, and dependable.
Orange is about 7. Yeah, Orange is
Orange is the best!
It's all about what matters to you. Orange.
Let me make sure I got all the sanitary items I need. I'm checking my list. Oh, yes. One more item. Let me have a big bottle of Dettol, yeah, across the board.
Yes, it. The total amount is 3,000 LD.
Okay, let me give you your money. Hey, my people. I can't find my purse. Lola, I left it on my kitchen table. My husband is rushing me too much. What's I'll do now?
Don't worry, Costa Homo. You can pay with your phone. Yes, the code here on the wall.
Awesome. Yes, I do have money on my phone.
With Orange Money, making payments for goods at your favorite store with your merchant is as easy as ABC. Dial *144#, select currency, select Pay with Orange Money, and follow the instructions. With Orange Money, life is easier. No stress.